Well, I was wrong, so I took the video down. I put this video out yesterday and was promptly let know that I was wrong on a couple gameplay mechanics that I talked about. I felt that those were key enough to warrant taking the video down and redoing it. So that's what I did. So if you watched the video yesterday and were wondering why I took it down, it is well worth going back through and watching it again for the two major updates I did, because these two mechanics really affect the conversation I was having and trying to put out the information. And if you want to find out all the information that I found out about dCrops, if you're thinking about going in on the Splinterlands collaboration with dCrops, or if you're just interested in the game itself, stay tuned. Hey out there, all you Splinterheads, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here saying thanks for dropping by. In this episode, this is really spurred by the DAO proposal from last week, which I did a video on. And it is a partnership between dCrops and Splinterlands. dCrops is offering packs to the Splinterlands DAO for the exchange of $1, and they will be selling a special NFT for 25,000 DEC and holding DEC at its value at peg, and then burning the DEC. So this is a win-win for Splinterlands, and I think it's a win for dCrops, attracting new players and such. But we discussed this, and then I've had several people ask me about dCrops, and that led to a fully blown out conversation on Saturday when we had our live stream about dCrops. And I had to admit that although over the years playing on the Hive blockchain, I've looked at it a couple different times, I've never really delved into it because it wasn't exactly my style of game. With that said, I had a lot of questions thrown at me and about the special event, the olive trees, what they'd be worth, what's their earning potential, etc. So I wanted to go ahead and do a little homework this week, which I did, and investigate the game and see what's up with the game and pass that information along to you. First of all, if you like this kind of content, please leave me a like, and if you've watched a few videos, consider subscribing. I appreciate it, and you know how all YouTubers say it does help out. Also, if you're interested in playing dCrops, I will leave my link below. Please add that to your account when you start up, and that helps too. Okay, so let's dive in. So to start off this conversation, I wanted to send a mad shout out to See You in Lumb. This is one of the big dCrops players. When I joined the dCrops Discord channel, he was the first one that greeted me. Quite active, and I found out that he's one of the bigger players on the game. And I want to say thanks because he's imparted a lot of his known things he's learned about the game over the time he's played it, and passed that along to me so I could turn around and make a good statement about the game, different things. This is not a comprehensive review of the game. I just want to kind of throw the basics at you so those people who are in Splinterlands that are thinking about getting an olive tree or 2 or 3 or 4 and diving into the dCrops game, so you'll have a little bit of a foundation and you're not going to be starting off dry. Okay, so shout out to him. So what is dCrops? dCrops is a farming simulator with more going on it, except for that. Okay, so at its roots, it's very much like other farming games you may have played online on your telephone or something like that in the past. Okay, the basics are, let me go ahead and pull the market up and we can kind of look at the NFTs available. So the basics are, let's start with land. Okay, the first thing you need is land. Okay, and just like we're used to in other card games, you have common, rare, epic, and legendary. Okay? Now there are some differences amongst the farmlands. As they get rarer, you can grow more crops on them. On your average farmland, you can grow 1 crop. On your fertile land, you can grow 2. On your awesome land, you can grow 3. And on your high-tech land, you can grow 4. And there's some other bonuses involved, but that's the major difference amongst those. Okay, and you have some different selections available. But basically, you need a piece of land to grow a crop on, right? The second thing you'll notice up here in the filter section is you have seasons, okay? Different crops that you select. The second thing you need is, let's go ahead and look at seeds. The next thing you need are seeds to grow. And each of the seeds grow in a different season. Season is 15 days, so a little bit more than 2 weeks. And they switch as they go along. So you switch out things that you're growing depending upon the season. And all these cards, and there are other things to the game as well, because after you grow what you're going to grow, then you can turn around and you can make things with it. You can sell it on the store, and people will buy it off those items off of you and create other things, like you can cook things, things of this nature. Let's go ahead and go into recipes. You can see there's a variety, and these are all NFTs that can be bought, sold, trade. There's a variety of recipes here that you can make. And on each one, you will see, say, for instance, this bread. You will see you go into here, very much like buying Splinterlands cards. The people have them available for sale. You can see that they're for sale with Swap Hive and how much they cost. But once you get that, then you can go ahead and have a recipe to make bread. You have to buy the ingredients, or you have to grow the ingredients to make the bread, and then you can turn around and sell the bread. Okay, so that's one idea. Now, the other thing you can get in the card packs are equipment, and you need various pieces of equipment to do what you're going to do to the food, right? You might need a fridge to make something, and oil, like in our specific example, if you're thinking about the olive tree, one of the things you may need to use in the future if you're going to get some olive trees is an oil press, which, guess what? You can make olive oil, right? Okay, so those are the basics, okay? So you need a piece of land, and your land, you can plant different crops on them during different seasons, and different crops. Let's go back to the crops. You'll see that much like other cards and other card games you're used to, they have the gem that indicates the rarity. One other thing I will show you here is that different crops have different timing. One thing that makes this this game, I don't want to say card game, they do have cards, but this game different than Splinterlands is the fact that, I don't want to say it's set it and forget it, but it's set it up and then check back once in a while. It's not an active game like Splinterlands is. And I'm not talking about Splinterlands on a bot. I'm talking about if you are actively playing Splinterlands the game, you're in there, you're making decisions on what to play, etc. In this game, you're making decisions, but you're deciding where you want to take your farm, what you want to make in the end, so that you know what to plant to start with, or what you need to buy to start with to combine to make what you want to make. So one of the big things is planning everything out and having the proper amount of plots. And obviously, you, just like other card games, you can grow as you go along, right? So that other main takeaway is that you have different timing, and the shorter between the timing on your collection of crops, the more often you're going to have to check it every day. Okay. Well, the next question would be, well, how do I get these cards? Well, just like other card games we're familiar with, you buy packs. Okay. You go to the shop. Currently, they're on the beta pack release. Their alphas are sold out. You may be able to buy them on secondary market. I'm not quite for sure. But beta packs are presently on sale. They had a Christmas sale going on. It's still presently on sale for a little while longer. You can buy beta packs. You can also buy singles on the market, which after looking at all this and talking to CU and Lum, I kind of got the idea, and he agreed that if you're starting out, just like I've said numerous times in Splinterlands, it's more economical to buy singles than it is to start buying a bunch of packs, right? I have nothing against packs. Everybody loves opening up a pack. You got that surge of energy and trying to wanting to get a legendary, something like that. But getting things up off the ground, it's much more economical to go into the market and buy your NFTs to get up and running. So let's just take a look. I'm not going to go too deep on this, but let's just say, for instance, you wanted to buy, I'm not going to go with commons, but say for instance, you wanted to go with rares. Okay. So a fertile land, which is the rare, it gives you 5% bonus, is currently 5.9 swap hive. So 6 swap hive. And I looked earlier, swap hive is about 33 cents. So we're talking about $2. So about $2 for one fertile land plot. Now, let's go and look at the crops. Okay, so say for instance, once again, we wanted to grow cauliflower. I'm not sure exactly what season we're in. I'm assuming we're in winter, so let's look at cabbage. Okay, so let's look, say we wanted to grow a cabbage on our fertile plot. Okay, so this is about 1 swap hive. So roughly about 35 cents, right? So I'm just doing rough math here. Now, so, roughly to plant 1 cabbage on a plot of land, you're talking about $2.35 or something like that. Now, keep in mind, these seeds and lands are reusable. Now, there is a cool down period because once, say for instance, you're in a season that's winter, once that's done, the next season, I'm guessing, is going to be spring, and it just keeps rotating. And you can, that's why you have to have a variety of seeds. And there are other things that play into this, such as quests, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I just wanted to take a rough look at it. So you can jump in and you can start a small farm for not too much. Okay, I guess that's my main point there. Now, trees are an altogether different thing in game. And the reason why I want to talk about this is in reference to the olive tree that will be sold in the cross promotional event, the olive tree. And I don't make any money on this, but one thing I did gather from my conversation with CU and Lum is that they represent a pretty good value in game. We're looking at the tree section here, and you can see 2 different things. First of all, you can see the tree seeds, orange, mango, peach, and apple, and then you can see the fully mature trees. Okay, so you can see that, just for instance, on an orange tree, it's 98 swap hive for seed, or it's 210 swap hive for a fully grown mature tree. Now, if you choose to go with the lesser or the cheaper and buy the seed, you will need a piece of land to put that on and grow it. Okay, and it will take a certain amount of time to grow to maturity. After that, you take it and you put it into your orchard in game, which is a separate section of the game. Let's go ahead and jump over here to play, and you can see the orchard section here. Now, I don't have any trees currently, but if I did, they would go right here and you would be able to claim your fruits on a daily basis. Now, that goes, you can claim them during the season. I want to emphasize this because it's not something that's readily evident to players coming into the game. Okay, this game works on a seasonal basis. You have different crops, you have different crop trees, and they bear during one season. Now, in this case, we'll jump over to the proposal to take a look at the actual card. We can see that the olive tree is a legendary, and it's a fully mature tree, and it is a spring crop. So that means that the olive trees will bear fruit in the spring. They will not bear fruit during the rest of the other 3 seasons. Okay, just want to be that to be clear. Okay, now what will it give you? It will give you 2 olives every day, and the share value of olives would be 4 shares each. As we said, they'll cost 25,000 DEC. They're limited to 1,000 NFTs, and also they're going to kick in 50 mystery seeds. Okay, now whereas these seeds, you buy them off the market and you can continue to reuse them as the different seasons go around. Mystery seeds are one-time use, and then they're done. So just to wrap up and tie a little bow around that, your olive trees will be usable in the spring. They will bear fruit during the spring, and you can harvest them on a daily basis. They will be usable right out of the box, meaning that you don't have to have a legendary land to plant them on, which if you did buy some of these other tree seeds, you would need a legendary land to go ahead and mature that tree. And they will go into your orchard. you can see that there's a value there. Now, I asked specifically whether it would be worth it to just buy a few trees and play that in game. And it was said that, it's doable. Yeah, that would be fine. Don't necessarily know how long it would take to ROI for those trees. And it would be largely, it wouldn't take too long. So if all you had to say for instance, you had 4 olive trees, you could jump in game and only, a minute a day, or, not too much time spent per day, and harvest your trees. And then you could take those olives and do something with them, right? So I guess my main takeaway there is you're not talking about a large time expenditure. However, I guess the inference was that you might want to do some other stuff while you're in the game. If you're going to play the game, you might as well play the game, right? So I'll leave that there. Now, ultimately, what a lot of people want to know about when you're playing a Web3 game is how do I ROI, or how do I make money by playing this game? Okay, so obviously it has to be somewhat fun to play, but how do I make my money back? And hopefully more money on top of that, right? Okay, so from what I've seen, and if you play dCrops and any of this is wrong, please leave it in the comments so I can correct it. Usually I don't dig too deep into tokenomics, but I like to give a good example of basically how the game works. Okay, so there's 2 different ways that you can earn off of this game. The first and the main one is the leaderboard, and the second is the holding rewards, which is like an airdrop. Okay. So the way the leaderboard works is, in my previous example, you grow crops, you harvest the crops, you either sell the crops or you make something else with the crops and then sell that. Okay. And then you make shares as you go along, season shares. Now, let's jump back over here. Now, if we go into the market and go into the farmer's market, you will see people are selling things, okay? So say, for instance, I grew some bell peppers, okay? I would come in here to bell peppers. I put my bell peppers up for sale. We'll see that Lufti and Mengao have bell peppers up for sale. One's for sale for 3.75 crop, one's for sale for 4 crop, right? And you sell those and you make your share, right? And people can buy those items off of you and in turn use those items to produce other things in the game. So as you progress through the season and you sell things, you earn your shares and you start placing on the leaderboard. And as we're accustomed to in other games, the position on the leaderboard dictates, and the amount of shares dictates how much of the ending pool you win at the end of the season. So basically, this is a leaderboard that encourages participation in the game and being active. The reward that you receive from participating in the leaderboard is a certain amount of crop tokens, which can be bought, sold, traded, awarded based on a reward pool and based on the shares points earned and sold by each player during a season play. Each player can view their respective rank, shares, and potential rewards on the top right corner of their dashboard. The greater the number of shares sold by a player, the greater the reward. Like other games where you're sharing pools, it works on percentages basis. So the more active you are, the higher percentage of activity in that pool you are, the greater your takeaway, Okay, so you earn crop that way. Okay, that's the first one. That's the main one. That's what you get off of being active in the game. The second is the holding rewards. Now, we're very familiar with this in Splinterlands, if you remember the SPS airdrop, etc., and a lot of different, not just games, but different tokens are released and such like that, and they have airdrops. It's very similar to this. Okay, so you get an airdrop, a holding rewards for holding more items in the game. Okay, crop power is a sum of average values of your dCrops assets. Every day a snapshot of the player's account and all the holding dCrops assets is taken. The system rewards players based on their crop power score with amount of Hive tokens distributed daily. So once again, it's an airdrop of Hive. And I will leave the link to this wiki in the show notes so you can check it out. But you get a certain amount of points down here for crop tokens, alpha packs, holding packs, active cards, inactive cards, common, rare, epic, and legendary crops. Crop power is a 15-day average of the sum of your dCrops assets. So you go and then you get out of the reward pool. 30% of all sales in Hive go to the reward pool. 0.25% of that amount is distributed to all players who have at least 20,000 crop power. So if you want to start getting this, takeaway here is you want to shoot for getting at least 20,000 crop power. What comprises that? I don't know yet. A sum of players' crop token balanced, unopened alpha and or beta pack balanced, harvested 3-star quality crops, and the burn value of players' NFTs are all put into consideration. To receive daily rewards, okay, it goes into the 20,000. That kind of brings up another thing is that you can grow crops, and as you get better at crops, or I'm not sure if it's random or if your crops get better as you gain skill, you can get 1, 2, or 3-star crops, and their value goes up exponentially, right? Those are the basics of the game, okay? It does get more in depth, like a lot of games do. You can build equipment that you need to use to make other items in the game. Like right here, we were talking earlier about the olive tree. You might want to build an olive press. You can see that it takes different materials to make the olive press to be able to make your olive oil. You can also craft different things that you would need to build different equipment. And you can also go into your recipes, buy different recipe cards to make different things like we were talking about earlier. Now, for instance, back to our original cabbage we had grown, here's something you can make with cabbage. Looks like you would need 2 cabbage, an oil, a hot pepper, and salt, and you would make 1 cabbage pickle or sauerkraut. So that gives you kind of the basics of what this game is about. Plant your stuff, come back every few hours or once or twice a day, harvest your stuff, and then decide whether you want to use that stuff to sell on the market or if you want to go ahead and ultimately take that stuff and make better food items and things like that out of it, and then sell those items, and then accrue shares for the end of the season, and then that gets you your percentage of the pool, along with other things. Another thing I will mention is that they do have quests, and you'll notice on the quest page, it basically gives you things to do, and you get different bonuses and prizes out of that. Okay, so like I said, this was not meant to be a comprehensive review. This was just meant to kind of give you the basics, get our feet wet, and help you decide whether you might be interested in adding it to your stable of Hive-based games that you play. Okay, so one other shout out to Steven Lum is that he sent me 2 card packs. So let's go ahead and open them. He sent me 1 alpha and 1 beta card pack, worth roughly about $6 or so for both of the combined. So let's just open the alpha first. Let's submit. To slide all the way over to the right. See what I got in my alpha pack. Okay. 5 cards. Got a watermelon seed. And turn those sound effects off. Kale, cauliflower, broccoli, and radish. So 3 commons, 2 rares. Judging by my normal judgment on Splinterlands packs, having more than 1 rare makes this an above average pack. Nothing awesome, but I got some crops to start out with. Okay, so let's go back and open the beta pack. And you will immediately see that the artwork is different. So they're easy to tell the difference between. Like the cute little artwork there. Oh, it's showing a animation. And the beta packs only have 3 cards apparently. And let's see here. I got some thyme, which is common. Chamomile, which is rare. And a steamy plate, which is a recipe. So I got a recipe, I got a rare, and I got a common out of that. And this appears to be a fall plant, and this appears to be a summer plant. Okay. So I think this has been a good intro. I will leave. So one other thing, Cian Lum would like you to join him on dBuzz, and I will leave his username below. Or you can find him on Twitter at CUNLum. Once again, below. Once again, shout out. This has basically been information about dCrops. I don't really know. I'll probably buy at least 1, if not 2 olive trees. And I'll probably get my farm going. I don't know if I'm going to go into dCrops, but I might start playing. So, I mean, it looks like a nice game that doesn't take too long every day. And from what everybody was saying in Discord, you can be very light on it and do it just a little bit of time per day, or you can really get involved and spend a lot of time in it per day. So we may take another look at this in the future down the road after we get the trees up and going. Leave your comments and was I wrong about something? Was I right about something? Let me know your thoughts. Once again, if you're thinking about starting, please check out my affiliate link in the show notes. And I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And I will see you on the flip side.